So we've come to the hospital San Pau because we were told it's well worth looking at. Interesting architecture inspired by Gaudi, but we can't actually work out how to get into the site. So we're slightly struggling at the moment to find where we're meant to be. So it took a little bit of finding because we took a misturn, but we're finally here, and this is an Art Nouveau building, one of the finest examples of this type of architecture in Catalan, and was built initially as a hospital and as a city within a city. The modern hospital is behind it now, and it's now used for conferences and concerts and other events like that. So behind me we have these fountains, but the fountains are not working because there is a drought here in this region, lack of rain. We have fountains all the way down here, and in front of me the magic fountain where they would do displays and water and music and light displays, but sadly it's not working because of the drought situation here in Catalonia and majority of Spain as well. So we've come up to Castle Montjuic. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but anyway, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. And this stands above Barcelona. Fantastic views over the Mediterranean, but it also has a very dark history because this was a place where during the Spanish Civil War a lot of the enemies of Spain, and particularly enemies of Franco, were held, and many people were executed here. So you get some amazing views of the harbour and down to the airport from here, so well worth coming up for that. It's also a very warm day again. I think it's probably about 23-24 degrees, and it's I think the 22nd or 23rd of October, so you know, in a week's time it'll be November, and I can't believe just how warm it is at the moment. I don't know if this is typical weather for Barcelona at this time of the year, or if it's warmer than normal, but it's certainly feels hot to me. Not that I'm complaining. Lovely to get away from the rain and the wind in the UK. So just reading a display board that says that it's on these walls behind me that they used to execute people, including the president possibly of Catalonia in 1940. Anyway, lots of people executed here, particularly fighting for Catalonian independence.
I reckon they would have bombed it.
So we've finished our tour of the castle, making our way back down the hill. To be honest, I think I was slightly underwhelmed by the castle. It does have a bit of the history of the castle. one thing that's clear is that that castle has been used to oppress the citizens of Barcelona over the years, so I imagine the citizens of Barcelona don't have very fond feelings about that castle, but yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. I wouldn't necessarily rush back up there again to see it, but the one thing that both Henrik and I did enjoy was there's an art exhibition down in the bottom of the castle with lights and music and so forth, and that was really fun and atmospheric, and yeah, I enjoyed that probably more than the castle. But I suppose it's a bit of the history of Barcelona, so probably worth visiting. Learnt a little bit more about the history of the city. So yeah, I mean, not a bad visit, but not the most exciting place. And you do get good views from the castle, but if you just walk up to the castle and walk around it, the views are just as good, so you don't need to go into the castle itself to get the good views. And if you are feeling lazy, there's also a cable car up to the castle, but we're on foot. So exploring the beautiful Gothic quarter of Barcelona, which includes the cathedral, but it's a lovely little place, lots of little alleyways, very narrow, slightly reminds me a little bit of Jerusalem in some ways, the narrow streets and the cobbled streets. It's beautiful. Hola.
Do you know the story about this?
No, I don't.
Where are you from?
England.
English.
Oh, thank you very much. So just reading this typical figurine found in Catalan nativity scenes dating back to the 18th century, traditionally depicted by a peasant wearing black trousers, a red sash, and a baratina, typical red cap, symbol of good luck, joy, and good fortune in the home. It's said that through his defecation, the land is fertilised for the following year. All our figures are handmade, and you've got all these figures of different people, including some famous people. Maybe an interesting gift to take home. So can you tell me what the significance of this church is?
I can't.
Okay, you tell me. So it was used in a film, and the film was about...
La Catedral de la Mar, about the building of the cathedral in Barcelona.
Okay, so this...
Pataxios were carrying the stones from the Mount Montjuic to build the cathedral.
Okay,
And this church was used in the film instead of the cathedral, but it's telling the story of the cathedral.
okay, and what's this film called?
La Catedral de la Mar, the Cathedral of the Sea, and it's based on the book by Falcones.
So this is a book and a film that Beata's watched,
Netflix
a
production.
Netflix production, and this was the church where they filmed, but it's actually based on the cathedral. Should we go and see if it's open?
The next day.
So we've come back to this church, Santa Maria
Del Mar in Barcelona.
del Mar in Barcelona.
It's a basilica.
And it's a basilica. And yesterday we said that the story that's on Netflix was about building the cathedral. It's actually about building this church, which is called a cathedral.
There are 3 churches which are called cathedrals.
Yeah, 3 churches in Barcelona called cathedral, and the story in the book is about the building of this one. It was built by the people of Barcelona because they didn't want to go to the cathedral that was built by the nobility. So this is the cathedral of the church.
They carried the stones
Yeah.
on the backs from
They carried the
Montjuic
stones on the
Mountain.
back. There's a picture of that, a scene of that on the front door as well, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
People called Bastachos.
Bastille. Yeah. So I didn't go into the church myself, but my wife and son did, and they said it's simple but very beautiful and has a lovely atmosphere, very prayerful, spiritual place. So it sounds like a place worth visiting. So this very fine building that I'm in is the first iron built building here in Barcelona, and when it ceased to be a marketplace, they did some excavations, and you've got these archaeological remains, and it dates from the early 18th century, and these were townhouses that, if I'm understanding the boards correctly, were pulled down after the Spanish War of Succession, and Barcelona Catalan in the end ended up on the wrong side of that, and a citadel was being constructed, and they had to pull down a lot of the townhouses, equivalent to about 17% of Barcelona's urban area at the time, and these are the archaeological remains of those houses that had to be pulled down to allow the construction of this giant citadel. So this building is free to come into, and it's got information boards all along the side, which is really helpful just to show you where I am. So I'm at the moment just standing over a street. So you can see the information board there, the viewing platform, and you can look down onto the street. And apparently along this street there used to be lots of shops that would make musical instruments, particularly guitars. So it's yeah, a really interesting place. Just came across it, and well worth looking around. Just wandering past this amazing train station here in Barcelona. Beautiful architecture. Where are we going?
Abajo no. खराब हो जाएंगी ना उसमें पहले वो घर के लिए भी नहीं बोलते
Look at these things.
Dragon fruit, is it?
What?
I think it's dragon fruit.
Have you eaten them?
I'm not getting touched. That's scary looking.
Guarda, questo è quello che abbiamo visto al Canada.
Is that squid?
Devi stare lì davanti. Nessuno sta là.
Squid maybe?
Pulpo, octopus.
Octopus.
Guarda là.